My name is Wole Akimbi. I am a resident in the Smithfield neighborhood. Shout out to all of my folks that live in 02908. I will be your moderator and facilitator for the day. We have a really quick run of show. I'm going to break that down for you. I'm going to bring up the mayor. He's going to say some remarks. And then after that, we're going to hear from the 5 newly elected school board members. And then after that, we're going to get into some small group discussions. We're going to break into 4 different groups. And we'll talk about that a little later down the line. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the mayor.
Thank you, Wole. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this for us today, and thank you all for being out here. It's a Saturday morning, it's cold, it's a couple weeks before Christmas, and because I recognize so many faces, I know we always run the risk of fatigue, and this is a complicated sort of catch-22 for us because many of you have engaged in these conversations many times. And I know that can get exhausting. The flip side is, however, if we don't include your voices in the conversation, then we risk missing really important feedback. And so I appreciate your stamina and your stick-to-itiveness to continuing to have your voices heard as we chart a path forward for our schools, because in fact we all want the same thing, which is an outstanding public education for every kid in Providence. And I know that that's what brings us together. And we're going to have some different ideas today, but with that in mind, I'm confident we will improve the path forward. We're going to hear from these folks here in a minute, and I'll introduce them when that time comes, but I do want to welcome, I think everyone knows we've had a big change in the structure of the school board in Providence. The last time we had this conversation, we had not yet elected our new school board members. We do still have the appointed school board, which is serving through the end of the calendar year, and I want to welcome Knight Jean and Tony, who've been serving capably for this term, and I appreciate your service. And we also are joined by Representative Morales and Councilman Goncalves, in addition to so many members of my leadership team. As a statement for how much we care about education in the city, I want to appreciate and acknowledge the leadership of the police departments here, from Arts, Culture, and Tourism, from the Human Relations Commission, from the Recreation Department. This is very much an all-hands-on-deck thing for my team, and we know that in city government we all have a role to play, sometimes large, sometimes small, in improving outcomes for our families. And for all the teachers who are here, you know better than anyone that what happens outside of the classroom is sometimes as important as what happens inside the classroom for our families. And so we wanted to make sure to integrate all of those other community activities that take part throughout one of our students' day, month, and year. And so just a couple updates. We did this back in September, and it was a good conversation, but there's been some big news since then. First and most importantly, we have resolved a 5-year dispute with the State Department of Education on funding for our schools. And this is a lawsuit that started back in 2019, long before I was elected. And so I am happy to say now that the advocacy that our young people were forced to do, and some of the fear that was inflamed with our young people, can all be put to rest, that bus passes will not be rescinded, sports will not be cut, and that we have come to agreement. And we were able to do it's an agreement that goes all the way through 2027, and so we now also have predictability and stability. And so for all of our teachers, for all the professionals in the school building, and most importantly for the students, they can now rely on an agreed upon, settled amount of funding from the city that takes those cuts off the table. And so we don't have to be having this argument anymore. It's going to come at the cost of sacrifice to the city, but sacrifice on behalf of our students is always a sacrifice worth making. Second, also good news since the last time we were all together, which is we had a election in November, and included on that was a bond issue which passed. And so we also have support from the taxpayers of Providence for $400 million in additional school construction, which will enable us to continue to make really breakneck progress on improving school facilities in the city. There have been a couple ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings this year already, and that enables us to continue to move forward full speed ahead in either replacing or fully renovating our school buildings throughout the city. And then finally is the changes to our school board. And as I mentioned, we're going to hear from our newly elected school boards in just a minute, but we do also have 5 appointments to make. And so I want to make sure that everyone knows that on December 18th, on Wednesday, December 18th at PCTA will be a forum for the appointed school board members. If anyone had been through this process in the past with appointments, anyone who's applied is required to attend a public forum, and that continues. What's a little bit different with this new structure, just like the 5 folks to my left represent districts, the appointments will be made by district also. And so on Wednesday the 18th, we will have applicants for the appointed slots present at a public forum from 5 to 8 at PCTA. You're all invited. Members of the community are invited. And it's going to be moderated, as it has been in the past, by the League of Women Voters, and we appreciate their time and nonpartisan and professional ability to moderate. And let me tell you, as someone who's run for office a few times, you don't want to go over time with the League of Women Voters. Those ladies get very stern with the red card, and so we will keep that on track. So finally, I just want to thank you all. As you hopefully have all heard, we are working diligently to bring the state intervention to a close as soon as possible. And back in September, the commissioner sent us a letter stating the criteria by which, or the tasks that needed to be accomplished in order for the schools to be returned to local control. And as I've said before, I took that as something of a challenge, and I took it as a to-do list, and we are working through that list to try to wrap this up as soon as possible. And community engagement is a part of this. Governance and a new school board is part of the tasks that need to be completed, but so is progress on several key metrics. And so many of you were involved in the original Johns Hopkins report, or the turnaround plan, also known as the TAP. And so we are going to organize some of our conversation today, and we did back in September as well, about how to make further progress on that. Because in fact, we do want all of our kids to be either be career or college ready when they leave. We also want to make sure that their social and emotional needs are met, and we want to make sure that we're taking care of the whole child. And so those are some of the conversations that'll happen today. And we couldn't do it without you. And so now, so that we can get to work quickly, I'm going to introduce our school board members. I'll introduce them by district. We've asked them to make brief remarks to introduce themselves to all of you, because I realize that you may not know them all. And because it's by geography, they may not be your school board member, but collectively they are our school board members, and we're very excited about that. And so I'm going to go in order of district, and we're going to start with District 1, which is wards 1, 2, and 3, and I'd like to introduce your new school board member, Corey Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Corey Jones. I was recently elected in Region 1, which is the east side of Providence. I always start off events like this with grounding myself. I ask myself, why am I here, right? And the reason why I'm here today is because my family has been haunted by gun violence, and a good education saved my life. And together we can work to make sure that all of our kids have a great education, and together we can too save lives. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you to everyone that put this together. And thank you to the folks that supported me and voted for me, and look forward to representing everyone.
Thank you, Corey. Next, representing District 2 is Michelle Lee Fons. She goes by Mish. So Mish, if you could introduce yourself as well.
Why did I have to follow Corey?
Get used to it. My district number is going to keep happening.
So, hey everyone, my name is Mish. I represent Region 2. I just want to say I am super grateful, feel very blessed and humbled that my community chose me, and I'm just ready to get to work. So I'm here to listen, I'm here to learn, I'm here to elevate student voices and community voice, and that's what I'm here for, so thank you.
Thank you, Mish. District 3, Heidi Silverio.
Hi everyone, my name is Heidi. I represent Region 3. Thank you again for being here, for having these conversations. I'm humbled and grateful for the opportunity to be the voice of my community. As a Latina who grew up in this community, went to these schools, I'm excited to be able to represent and make a change and a difference. So thank you guys for being here and for the work that everyone has done in this room. So thank you again.
Thank you, Heidi. And in District 4, Mireya Mendoza.
Good morning. My name is Mireya Mendoza. I'm here because all my neighbors trust on me. I want to say thank you very much. I represent the Ward 9, 8, and 10. Thank you very much, everyone, to trust me and vote for me. I'm gonna work hard with all my teams and my co-workers to do the best on our schools, our teachers, and the families. Thank you very much to all for being here today, and I wanna wish you happy holidays for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And last, in District 5, who also has been serving as an appointed school board member, but then is now elected to a term, is Tyrell Stevens.
Good morning, everybody. It is so cold. I'm happy to, be here. Juanita Sanchez. I'm an alumni from here, so, my old stomping grounds. Want to thank the mayor for his amazing work, him and his team, my future colleagues, my current colleagues, Night Jean and Tony, who will be reapplying, Councilman Goncalves, Representative Morales, the teachers, students that are here, all of the youth organizations. Just proud to be here. My name is Tyrell Stevens. I'm a current sitting member. We'll be back on the board the next 4 years. And, one of the main priorities that I'm going to try to focus on first is the return to local control. And we know that this work is definitely important. Having community engagement, having the community involved is a main priority, but it's also something that the commission has said must happen. So today is going to be very crucial. But then second is going to put an emphasis on student achievement. We need to make sure that we continuously see progress in the school department. So, those are going to be my main two concerns the next 4 years. I cannot wait to get to work come January and, work with all of you. So again, thank you all and have a good day.
Thank you, Tyrell. So these are your new school board members. Again, there'll be 5 new appointments as well, just to finish up the process on that. After the forum on the 18th, the school board nominating commission makes recommendations to me, and then I send those nominees to the city council. That happens in January. So you will have a brand new, fully formed school board as soon as council approval happens at the end of January, maybe beginning of February, depending on scheduling. And then we have a whole new governance structure for our schools, which, as I said, is a critical step along the path to the return to local control. So I'm going to turn it back to Wole. We're going to get to work. We're going to do our breakouts now. Thank you again for coming today.